Hello, I want to report a crime. I am the Zodiac Killer and I just killed 2 human beings.
The Zodiac murdered 22-year-old Darlene Elizabeth Farron and almost killed 19-year-old Mike Reynolds as they sat in their car in a secluded section of Blue Rock Springs Park in Vallejo, California. The killer pulled up behind them at one point and then drove away. When he returned, he got out of his car and shined a bright light into the couple's car. He shot Farron 5 times and Majo 4 times. She died, but he lived to tell the tale. He was about 5'8" and on the stocky side. He had brown hair and a roundish face. Mike might have gotten some details wrong, but who takes notes when you have a gun in your face? How did the police know it was the Zodiac Killer? Well, he had the gumption to call them from a payphone only a few blocks away from the station less than an hour after the attack. He told them details about the murder only the killer could possibly know, like what weapon was used. Then he shocked the cops by saying he was also the one who killed the kids on Lover's Lane, so it wasn't a one-off killer. This was the work of a serial killer. On July 31, 1969, the Zodiac Killer sent letters to 3 local newspapers: the San Francisco Chronicle, the San Francisco Examiner, and the Vallejo Times-Herald. Each of the letters contained a confession of the 2 murders and 1/3 of a cipher. A couple of teachers in California named Donald Jean and Betty June Harden cracked the cipher, and it only took them around 20 hours. Strange, since so-called experts had failed where they succeeded. There's actually a conspiracy theory that the 2 were the Zodiac, so in all this cryptogram contained 54 different cipher symbols and 25 letters that are in the English alphabet. The couple worked out that they were looking at what's called a homophonic substitution cipher, which basically means you replace one letter with another, say a D for an M. They cracked it though, and this is how the decoded message began: "I like killing people because it is so much fun. It is more fun than killing wild game in the forest because man is the most dangerous animal of all." Just over a month later, he struck again. This time he picked on 2 Pacific Union College students named Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard. They were enjoying a picnic at a bucolic spot next to Lake Berryessa in California's beautiful Napa Valley. He stabbed the man 6 times and the woman 10 times with a knife. Leaving them for the dead, the Zodiac walked about 500 yards to where the couple's car was parked. There he drew his symbol on the door and wrote, "Vallejo 12-2068 7469 Sep 2769 630 by knife." That evening, the Zodiac got the Napa Police Department on the phone and told them he really was behind the double murder at the lake. Soon after, the Zodiac struck again, this time murdering a taxi driver named Paul Stein with a bullet to the back of the head. Three days later, the San Francisco Chronicle received a letter from the Zodiac containing a piece of Stein's shirt. The Zodiac said in the letter that the cops could have caught him if they'd been doing their job correctly. He also wrote, "School children make nice targets. I think I should wipe out a school bus some morning, just shoot the front tire, and then pick off the kiddies as they come bouncing out." After a while, the Chronicle received a new communication from the Zodiac. This time it was a cryptogram containing 340 characters, which came to be known as Cipher 340, and it proved to be too difficult for the best minds in the world to decipher at the time. People tried for decades from the USA and across the world. But what the Zodiac Killer had created was something special, something so annoyingly difficult, that after years of trying and failing, the puzzle was forgotten by most code crackers. In 2006, a global team of crack codebreakers took a look at the impossible puzzle again. They knew it meant something, but finding the key, it was no easy task. It would end up taking them 14 years to finally decipher the code.
They actually developed software to break the codes for the 340. It hadn't been easy. The team had looked at hundreds of thousands of different manipulations of the text. Information is discovered. It's likely a hopeless task. And so while the code is cracked, the identity of the Zodiac Killer remains a mystery. People will continue trying. Though, and who knows, maybe one day someone will finally solve the masked maniac's mysteries, and will finally learn the truth of just who the Zodiac Killer